Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Maximum Octane. We are really excited, as we like to say this time of year, super excited because we are at ATI Super Conference 2026, and we are in beautiful, sunny, and a little windy today, Orlando, Florida, at the Hyatt Regency in Cyprus. So we will be recording live from here all week, and we couldn't be happier to bring everybody with us here. So joining me today, of course, is my co-host, Mr. Jason Patel. He doesn't need any introduction. And we have somebody really special with us that came in actually a day before, 2 days before the conference, to deliver some high quality content to some of our premium groups. And that's Mr. David Nour. And so we are delighted to have him. And he's got quite the little story about the airport and all. We've had some issues. And David, you want to tell us a little bit about your company?
It is good to be with you. Sure, David Nour. I'm founder and CEO of a company called Avnir. We're building an AI platform for your most important relationships based on my 2 decades of work on business relationships and a dozen books and clients like Disney and Siemens and KPMG, but also a lot of small and medium-sized companies who understand that beyond their product or service, they're fundamentally in the relationship business.
Wow. I love that. And I think, one of the things that's so important with any of the people that we have and the presenters and speakers that come, business is business, right? And yes, you have a niche and you have to understand about your industry. But if we close our minds and always think, well, this doesn't work in automotive, or this doesn't work for bakeries, or this doesn't work, business is business and the fundamentals, and the people business, which is what we're all in, that is universal, the people business. And somehow I think a lot of people say, oh, I can't apply this and that doesn't work. You want to talk a little bit about the business of people, David?
Yeah, I love that conversation. And I coach every business owner, every company leader that, as I said earlier, beyond fundamentally what you do, we're all in the relationship business. And it actually starts, everybody thinks relationships external, customers, vendors, suppliers. I actually start with the internal relationships, because if it's like a family, if it's dysfunctional on the inside, everybody sees it, everybody notices it. And a ton of data shows that if you hire exceptional people, and especially in service, high service businesses, people with a heart of service, obviously they'll take care of your customers. And you take care of those customers, they'll give you referrals and recommendations and their families and friends. And it just kind of, the word of mouth is by far the least expensive marketing and most impactful marketing you can do. And by the way, great future employees are friends of some of your current employees. So really prioritizing the human capital in your business is what's going to set you apart. And this airport headache this week is like an example of that, right? So for the audience, I live in Atlanta, hometown Atlanta airline. I've got status with them, travel extensively with them. I spend 9 hours in the Atlanta airport on Sunday. And listen, flight delays and weather delays, we've all been through them. They happen. And for most businesses, it's not the chaos, it's not the disruption, it's what you choose to do with it afterwards. And people who are not helpful, or they don't have any information that you can act on, or they tell you, hey, thanks for being this status and we appreciate your business. Stop telling me that and start showing me, right? So 9 hours in the airport, 3 hours to check into a hotel. And your heart goes out to the person at the desk because she's doing the best she can, but there's 70 people in the lobby trying to check in. And her card, the hotel card maker thing isn't working. And it's just like cringeworthy. And, so my point is, if you, again, invest in your people, train and develop and nurture them, a lot of what ATI does for its members, they will take care of your customers and really build a culture that demonstrates that we value our most important relationships.
I think this is one of the big things that a lot of businesses really drop the ball on. Whether you're a product-based business or a service-based business,
sure,
you're still in the relationship business, right? So I do have a question for you. So
sure.
I know you've worked with a lot of Disney, Siemens, and kind of all these big companies. Have you worked with any of the smaller businesses? Sure. And in that case, what are some of the things that the smaller companies are usually missing the mark on compared to the big ones?
Yeah. So I would say the answer is yes. A lot of small and medium-sized companies you've never heard of. The difference, the biggest difference, believe it or not, it starts with mindset. So you could be running a small business today, but you got to think, and again, I can't, for those of you who have kids know exactly what I'm talking about, right? We can will things for our kids, but we can't do it for them. So if you have aspirations to grow, I would submit that first step is a mindset that we can be bigger, we can be more profitable, we can go to multiple locations and grow the customer base, right? The revenue base, so on and so forth. So what a lot of large companies do is they think bigger. And I think that's something entrepreneurs could really benefit, or small business owners could benefit from. Number two, this whole mindset of, well, I can't afford that.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh.
So let's just talk about people for a second, right? So I can't afford a really good GM. So I'm going to settle for a less expensive one.
That's going to cost you more.
Right? So I think this will resonate with your audience. I often talk about small business owners have a really difficult time disengaging to come to something like this because they've hired more projects than they've hired peers. You know what projects need? They need to be babysat. They need to be told what to do. They're always asking of what should I be doing and what should I go? You know what peers need? Nothing. Get out of the way and let them do what they do well. Right. So I'd rather you suck it up and pay a more competent, capable general manager that allows you to really think about the bigger picture, bigger ideas, a second location, more mechanics, right? How do I grow the profitability of the business? Right. How do I use this day and age, AI, in how I create the experience for those customers? Those are all big thinking that ideally the small business owner is doing. Get someone else to help you run the day-to-day. Having said that, there's no mission without margin. You have to run a profitable business that then allows you to bring in that talent that will help you scale your business. Does that make sense? Does 100%. That resonate?
You answered that.
You know, you just mentioned something about the growth mindset. And I think that's one of the biggest things we come up against with coaching with businesses. A growth mindset means in here. If you don't want multiple locations or you don't want to become a national chain, that doesn't mean growth. You still have to grow in here. You have to still be strategic. You have to grow your people. You have to develop your people. Growth mindset is any size store, any size business, any size person. It starts in here. And if you don't think about that and you have limiting beliefs, which one of them is I can't afford that person. We're in a lot of Facebook groups for people outside, just in the industry, and it breaks my heart every time I see somebody say, oh, I can't afford to pay a good tech in my town where I'm at. And if you are charging properly, not gouging people, not overcharging, but if you're charging properly and knowing what you're worth and what your services are worth, you can afford to hire whoever you need to. And that you have to do it or you're not going to get anywhere.
While we're in this, I love that. While we're in this topic, can I share an idea or story with your audience? So if you're listening, if you're watching, I want you to draw a pyramid for a second.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, perfect. Draw a pyramid, and I'm going to walk you through. I call this your human capital pyramid, right? Bottom 10%. Bottom 10% of the pyramid. This is about 10% of your people. And believe it or not, I call them a liability because doesn't matter how much you train them, how much you coach them, how much you develop them, how much you, show them, they will find a way to screw things up. Right? These people will cost you a lawsuit. They will waste money and margin, and God bless them. I'm big on grace, but these people find a way to just screw things up. The next group, I would say probably 60%, are what I call order takers. Good people, good intentions. They will do exactly what you ask, but that's going to be the extent of it. They're never going to think beyond that job description. They're never going to want to stay after 5 o'clock on Friday because that's when they clock in and clock out. That mindset, right? Again, I'm an order taker. I will do what you ask, and that's it. The next group, again, 5 to 8 to maybe 10% are problem solvers. What I love about this next group is problem solvers look for the root cause of the problem, and that's what they solve for, not the symptoms. None of us go to a doctor for a runny nose. We go to a doctor because how did I get a cold and how do I stop getting colds? And what's the root cause of me getting sick? Not just a symptom of it. So what I love about problem solvers is that they're looking for ways to improve by solving that problem. Keep going. The next group, again, 3 to 5% above that are systems thinkers. They see the whole picture. They're the offensive coordinator sitting in that box and they see the whole field. They're not on the sideline. You need people that can see the entire business and its ripple effect, that if we don't get that part from that supplier, we can't service that customer. If we're not responsive, we're going to lose that customer to another shop down the street. Those are systems thinkers. The very pinnacle of your pyramid, about 1% of your people are superstars. These people can run your shop and then some. And it's all has to do with how these people show up. So a superstar, a problem solver, a systems thinker, they're naturally curious. They come ask you, is there more things I could do? Are there other things I can tackle? I'd love to, hey, I had this idea, would love to run that by you, right? They take initiative. And I've always believed it's really difficult to train people on intelligence or initiative. That's either in them or it's not. And you can force it all you want, it is not gonna happen. Here's what you need to understand. AI is gonna, and what nobody's talking about, is gonna replace or heavily dilute the value of, they're gonna get rid of the liabilities and a lot of the order takers.
Right.
It will conversely amplify the value of the top 3. So superstars will become even bigger superstars. Systems thinkers now have a tool that could do the heavy lifting for them.
Right.
And the problem solvers will identify bigger problems, bigger issues to grow and scale the business. But that human value pyramid, human capital value pyramid is a really good way to think about the people you have now. More importantly, what people should you be thinking about changing as your business grows or as you try to tackle bigger issues?
I think you brought up a very good point that I really want to talk about, the initiative and intelligence, right? Yeah. So the intelligence is going to come one way or another if the initiative is there.
Sure.
Right. So now this goes back to the superstars. The superstars, they can get the intelligence now with all of the AI tools that we have. The intelligence is at the snap of your fingers.
Yeah.
Right. It's more, obviously, you still have to process it. You still have to figure out how are you going to utilize it. But the initiative, I think that's the biggest thing that we all are always looking for. Whenever you're hiring anyone, it's always about the initiative.
I want to, again, give the audience just an example. The Walt Disney World Company, part of their interview process is they'll have a candidate walk by a piece of trash.
Ooh.
See if they pick it up.
Right.
Because they understand that trash says a lot about you and your team and your company. And I've seen executives pick up that trash and not walk by it. So the age-old question, is it nature? Are they born with that way? Or is it nurture? Are they trained? Are they developed? Mm-hmm. And I think it's some of both.
Both, I agree.
The key is, again, back to the small business owner mindset. Well, I can't afford to train my people. It's the adult, I love this story, right? A CFO of a company asks the CEO, what if we train all these people and they leave? Which is very natural. Like people change jobs all the time. I love the CEO's response. What if we don't and these people stay? Right? If you don't invest in that training and development of your people, you should have no expectations that they're going to get better at that customer engagement, that vendor engagement, that turnaround on that break and job. And so all the impact you're trying to create has to come from the consistency with which you build and run the business.
You know, you just mentioned about with the people and if they're, you have to develop and grow. And I want to circle back to the beginning of what you were saying about attracting the internal customers. So you're not, everybody out there is, there's no good people anywhere. We can't hire good tech. We can't hire good service. We can't. And that's nonsense. There are people hiring rock stars all day long. There's people hiring system thinkers all day long. And then there's people all day long doing the order takers and liability. And that has to do with you and your image and the training you provide. I can tell you right now that Jason and I, we love working for ATI. We get offers of stuff all the time. I'm not leaving to go to work at a company that doesn't invest in training or do the things that's important. Like if you want your people to grow and to be developed and you want to attract top talent, you have to provide those resources for them. And you have to create those advocates where people are talking about where they are, where they work, the good work that they're doing, the impact they're having when they're at a cocktail party or they're at a whatever, because they're proud of where they work, they're proud of what they're doing. And we don't see that. We see so much of just that mindset of we're just a mom and pop business, we're just a this, we're just a that. You're not just a anything. You're just anything that you're making yourselves. And that's what we have to change.
And on that note, two data points for your audience. McKinsey as a research and consulting firm, they published a paper that said the number one reason most employees leave a business is that they don't feel like they belong. They don't feel like we're part of something. They don't feel like I'm contributing or I'm adding, right? So and again, most of your audience know this, families who play together, stay together.
Right.
Guess what? Same thing with teams and colleagues that play together, stay together because you feel like, oh, you've met their spouse or you know their kids or you know what they're like and what they do out. This guy likes to go fishing. She likes spa days, whatever they do outside. There's this really interesting person that most of us don't bring to work. You investing in really getting to know these people, number one. Number two, the training doesn't have to be expensive. It does have to be thoughtful. So everything from a buddy system to train that new mechanic on how we do what we do to, creating multiple people that can do any one job so you don't have a point of failure. If Sue, who runs the office, God help us, if she's out sick, we're screwed because nobody knows where anything is or how we get anything done. Conversely, if Sue is trained, Beth and Sam, and all three of them can do each other's jobs, now you don't have a single point of failure. Right. So that's an example of training and development and processes. There's a reason, by the way, that franchise models work really well. What do they teach you? Open the door at 7, turn on the oven at 7:05, put the cookie dough in at 7:15, put some samples in the lobby by 8. I mean, it is lockstep processes that can be repeatable, that can be predictable. And the more you do that, that's the other thing. You brought it up. I love that comment that your growth might not be I want a multiple location. Growth could be I want to work 3 days a week and spend more time with my kids and grandkids. I want to spend more time on the lake or spend more time with my wife, right? Any and all those things could be part of your aspiration. Right. Build a system, build a business that ideally can run without you. That's when it becomes really valuable.
Well, I love this. And I know Jason's going to just die if we don't start rolling into that AI stuff you're talking about, because he's actually doing a roundtable on it tomorrow, Friday, Thursday, or
tomorrow and Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday. So he and I love AI stuff too, because it sure's making my life easier. But I know that if we don't get to that and spend a little bit of time, Jason, do you want to talk about the innovations you're making in the AI world?
Sure. So as I mentioned earlier, 24 years of coaching, consulting, speaking about relationship economics. That's one of my books, and about this idea of focusing on the entire world says more. I want more customers, more. A ton of research shows that an average individual can proactively manage about 100 to 150 relationships.
Oh, wow.
That's it. That's all we have the bandwidth for.
I don't want that many.
Right. Yeah, I was about to say that was a lot.
That's the max, right? That is the max.
Thank goodness. Right? There's a cap on that.
So if that's all that you have the capacity for, the $1 million question becomes which ones? And how do you know? And on Facebook or on LinkedIn, how many people are we connected to that we honestly have no idea who they are or how we met or where we met or, right? So there's so much noise that's competing for our attention that we believe there's a better way. And that better way is, for example, number one, I don't know about your audience or you guys, my contacts are scattered. I have you on my phone. I have you in email. I have you on Facebook. I have you in WhatsApp. I have you in 8 different places.
Right.
And it's all the same in person, but it's just scattered. Right. Number 2, it's outdated. I'm embarrassed that in my own CRM, I have a Delta Airlines client who left that job 3 years ago. People move, people change, right? And it's really difficult to keep up with all of them. Number 3, am I getting the right information about my most important relationships that I can act on it. So these are just some of the problems we identified. And for the first time in my life, I believe AI is in a place that it can do a lot of the heavy lifting. Now, I tell most audiences, AI, I believe, is going to go one of two ways. Either it becomes Terminator, where I don't need you, right? And you can see.
Well, iRobot.
Right? Yeah, I don't need you. There's already roles and jobs. One of my clients has deployed AI customer service, right? That's an AI agent.
Agents all over.
That is answering the questions and solving the problems and setting up appointments and on and on and on. So I don't need, again, a lot of those liabilities and order takers. I can replace that. Or AI can become Iron Man, where it makes you better. Now, ChatGPT can't finish building that building.
No.
I spoke for the American Society of Metal Building Manufacturers. They have a 2-year outlook on their business. They can't find enough welders. And there's a shortage of plumbers. And there's a shortage of HVAC guys, and on and on and on. So there's a lot of trades. And I had a chance to meet Mike Rowe. I think these people are going to get consumed. The jobs that AI is replacing, they're going to get consumed by other trades that needs more hands-on kind of work.
Right.
So with our world, we thought, what if AI, and by the way, relationships are not between buildings and logos, they're always between individuals. So we actually start by building an individual vault. An AI scanner scans your email, calendar, LinkedIn, spreadsheets, Facebook, WhatsApp, your phone, anywhere, and I'm Switzerland, anywhere and everywhere you have contacts.
Right.
And it starts to build a vault. Now, most of our relationships are really important to us. And privacy, security, and control are non-negotiable. So even as the founder of the company, I cannot see your vault. We're also not a B2C product, we're a B2B product. So we separately build a company vault. Here, I'm bringing in all your customer information, all your vendor information, all those company contacts are here. With your work email, I create a bi-directional sync based on the information you want to share. So in my own vault, I might have that person is a jerk. I don't think I want that in the company's database, right? Or that person's really difficult to deal with, or that person's Susie's mom. I don't want to share their wife's names or kids' names or any of that detail with the company. So you get to, at the contact level, select the people you want added. Here's the key. My dashboard is called While You Were Sleeping, because your most important relationships, based on a goal you're after, every night we're scanning the web looking for updates.
Love it.
So Sam was just interviewed in this podcast. Here's the bullet points.
Right.
If you connect with him or follow up with him, here's what you should say. Susan was just featured in this article, right? Here's, and again, I've got a really good example for you guys. One of our users, one of our customers, had one of their customers in as a top relationship. And we call our AI agent Magellan. So Magellan shows in the dashboard that this customer just announced that they're about to become first-time grandparents. So our user gets on Amazon and buys a $20 coffee mug that says world's coolest grandpa.
That's awesome.
Sends it to that customer. The customer gets it, calls him back. Andy, you bald-headed bastard. How have you been? What's going on with you? I haven't talked to you in ages. By the way, I need your help with a project.
Ooh.
So $150,000 project, because this guy bought a $20 coffee mug,
right,
and demonstrated that that relationship is important to him. That's what this software can do, is help you focus on the most important relationships that will help you move your business forward.
I think that's so important. Like, this is one thing that, so I do a lot of social media stuff, and I've been doing it for 11 plus years. So we have like over 1 million followers on all the platforms.
Sure.
Right. So with that being said, exactly what you said, you have to have a separate vault when it comes to your work or your company and your personal relationships. Sure. Sometimes they really intersect quite a bit. So one thing that I do that obviously your company would help with a lot, on all of my contacts, so I'm in the automotive space like entirely.
Sure.
So all of my contacts, they might have a name on it, but they usually have a car on it for sure. Right. So I start pairing the vehicle and kind of build their customer profile.
Sure.
Even though they might not be customers, it might just be an actual relationship.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is, so many things are happening. We've got so many different social media platforms. We've got companies that you can also be connecting with. And not only does that build your personal web, but it also builds your business's web.
That's exactly right. So I want the audience to think of a social graph, right? So you're in the middle. Here's all the people you know. You've heard the old Kevin Bacon 6 degrees of separation.
Yes.
I would submit in business, we're typically 3 degrees away from almost anybody else we need. The challenge is when we're faced with a challenge or an opportunity, we often ask, what should we do and how should we do it? We seldom ask, who do I need? Who else has seen this problem? Who else has solved this problem? Who else has built an automotive shop or multiple locations or has hired that great GM? Or here's the other thing I brought up in the workshop yesterday. Unfortunately, a lot of industries do this. So it's not just automotive.
Right.
They get very myopic, right? All their friends are in the automotive space. All their relationships are in the automotive. And they eat, sleep, think, right? All automotive.
Right.
I wonder if there are other businesses that are thriving that you could learn from, right? Who has a laundromat? Who has a car wash that's doing 20 million in revenue that, right, you could benefit from? Just understanding how are they finding talent? How are they optimizing their processes? So I'm a big believer of expand that purview because people on the periphery could be instrumental. That's an example of something else that our platform solves is give me the goal. What are you trying to accomplish? What's the outcome? What's the goal of what you're trying to do? Now let's work it backwards of who are the most relevant, important relationships you should focus on. You should prioritize. And last comment, just like our plants, by the way, I have a brown thumb, right? If I don't feed the plant, it's got, none of them look anything like this. There's no greenage, right? So relationships take a daily nurturing and feeding and care and sometimes pruning. Relationships that were great 10 years ago, 20 may not be relevant to what you're trying to do. I recently did a LinkedIn post of unplugging from some people actually could be a blessing. It actually could be really good for you. And those are the kinds of things that, again, that we're trying to automate and help you become better at what you're trying to do.
So 2 things pop in my mind about this. One, I know we're going to have people saying, oh, AI, I don't want them knowing my business, my whatever. Most of you out there have the robot vacuums. That you're sending the blueprint and your whole floor plan to wherever in another country. So your stuff is already out there and you're bringing it in your home, whether you realize it or not. I would challenge any of you to really be able to tell me you're not plugged into the internet somewhere, somehow. It's just if you have a Ring camera, if you have anything else. So technology is out there, monitoring is out there, be smart about what's on there, all the safety things, but know that this does not have to be the enemy. And 2, for us, one of the things when you talk about relationships, we always talk about the people, right? We're not fixing a car. We're not I don't care what kind of car they drive. I don't, you're taking care of a person. That somebody getting in that car, whether a passenger or the driver, somebody's mother, their child, their son, their aunt, their uncle, somebody that's important to somebody, right? We have to always think about the people. And one of the things where we fail as an industry is, and we beg people, please, when a customer comes in, ask personal questions, take notes, put it in the notes, right? In the point of sale software. Jason's on social media, David, he's a 1,000,000-mile flyer out of Atlanta airport, whatever it is, so that when they come in again, you can ask about it. And they're not doing it. And we have a free resource that people can do and they're not doing it. So if they're not going to do it, they need to go outside and have someone. Yeah. And the other thing is you mentioned somebody earlier, it might have been before you went online, you were embarrassed you had a client that stopped working somewhere for 3 years you didn't know. We base mileage and plans on how do we best take care of the vehicle for the person based on where they work, how many miles a day are they driving, and we don't pay attention. And I just had somebody with a walk around the other day, which I'm a big proponent for, but they happened to notice a different sticker in the car. Well, the job they used to have, they traveled 5 miles a day. Now they're driving 65 miles a day. Wow. But they wouldn't have known if they didn't go out and do the walk around and see the sticker because they're not paying attention, right? So that's a completely different maintenance plan for somebody driving 65 miles. You know what I mean? Like we have to pay attention because we're taking care of the person and we want to make sure the vehicle that they're in is doing it right. So this makes my heart sing. I mean, I'm telling you, because it's crazy that we don't take advantage of this information.
Two points come to mind. An old mentor of mine drove this into me. Remember information for people, not about them. When you
Oh,
remember,
wait, I'm going to steal that.
perfect. Remember information for people, not about them. When you remember information for people, it's for their benefit. So I love that mileage, and we, either predict or we plan your maintenance based on that. That's for their benefit. When you remember information about them, it's just, you could spam them. And nobody wants that.
We don't want that.
How many spam emails do we all get every day? No, thank you, right?
My AI takes care of that, so we're good.
I've been going to the same mechanic for 23 years. His name is Q, right? And the reason we go to Q is because he knows me. He knows my family. He sees that car is my daughter's, and I want to make sure she's protected. And I've met his wife. I've met his kids, and he remembers us. And what I love is, hey, that check engine, bring it out. Let me see what it is. And whether it's something immediately we got to address, or it could wait, or right. And my dad drove into me, buy decent cars, take care of them, drive them till they die, and then you donate them, right? So I spent a lot of time, money with Q, and here's when I'm available. Don't have it come and sit here in a parking lot when I can't touch it. Bring it Tuesday morning. I'll look at it. You can pick it up Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, right? So he gets to know us on an individual level and caters. And again, that information for our benefit. And this is what I said earlier, regardless of what any of your audience members do, we're all fundamentally in the relationship business. Right. And the more information you can learn for their benefit, the more valuable it becomes. By the way, I brought this up in the workshop yesterday. One of the coolest things that any company can do is anticipate. Anticipate the needs and wants of your most valuable customers. You know what every busy professional's biggest enemy is? Time. Time. It takes time for me to take my car to the mechanic. If we have a mobile vet who comes to the house and grooms the dogs and gives them their shots and cleans their teeth, and I am willing to pay a premium because I don't have to take the time to go to the vet, and the vet isn't that far away, and I may not be your customer's the right profile. Your most there's money in that customer data, in that point of sale system, that if you really start asking better questions, start testing. You asked, what do big companies do first? They test a lot of different ideas. So think about, what would it take for us to create a mobile service? What would it take for me to go pick up that car and bring it back, fix it, and take it back to them? Right. Start testing that with some of your customers. Hey, would you be interested? By the way, relationships are behavioral. It has gotten so easy to put up a landing page on your website to have them reserve a time, date and time, for you to pick up their car, service it, tell you what service it needs, and then return it. And by the way, pay for the credit card in advance. So you get the money up front, you get the schedule up front, you get the predictability of the business, and you're delivering such a premium service. There's no way I'm going to go to another shop down the street because they're offering a $20 less expensive oil change, because you know me and you take care of me and you come and pick up my car and drop it off.
So I'm smiling. I know I'm smiling, grinning like an idiot, because here's someone that is not in the automotive industry telling you the same things that we have been telling you for years. And I'm also laughing, not at you, but with you. I just paid for I have Shiba Inus. And the Dental Bright came out to the house in a van, and they clean their teeth and they put a little hat on them and they take a picture of them in a ridiculous hat. They text it to me. Oh, they're the cutest pictures ever. Oh, and they text it to me, and it's all in my van, and I don't have to leave. So there's so much out there, but that goes back to what you said in the beginning, the growth mindset. You have to think about what's possible, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but you can't stop thinking about, let's try this, let's test it, let's do a little trial thing. If it doesn't work, go on to something else. No one that is successful today, none of these big companies, and we can talk about, Bezos or, anybody in the world that started anything, they did things that didn't work. Thomas Edison, every inventor, everybody had something that they tried, it didn't work. They might have tried things you hear 100 times. Sports athletes all day long, they missed whatever millions of shots, or they got cut from 20 teams. It doesn't matter. You have to keep trying, and you have to keep growing your mindset.
As a matter of fact, I often tell people that if you're not failing, you're not trying.
Right. That's for sure.
If you're not failing, you're not trying. So again, I want to be smart about it. I want to make sure it doesn't damage the business or reputation or whatever. Strategic. But I can absolutely test just some of these simple services. I can absolutely test some of these premium offerings. The other thing is, and again, I coach people, not every customer is equally valuable. Not every, if you have the courage to say, this is the profile of the customer or a relationship that's really the right fit for us. This is somebody that, I call those the positive ones. Neutral, you're okay, they're okay, not bad.
Right.
-1 customers will suck the life out of you and your business. And data shows we spend 80% of our bandwidth from -1 to a little bit above 0.
We do the same thing with internal customers as well.
80% of our profitability, growth, upside potential comes from the positive 1s to 0s. So look at, it's the 80-20. You're spending a whole lot of time babysitting people that, have you ever met people who wake up on the wrong side of the bed every day? Right? They're never going to be happy. By the way, you broke my tail light. No, I didn't. Right? So all those things that we've all heard about automotive shops struggling with. Conversely, customers who say, I love it when my customers come up with ideas. Hey, could you also help us with this? That unsolicited part. What if we did this? And would this be an option? Again, you and your audience know their businesses much better than I do. What I'm asking you to do is start asking. You want better answers? Start asking better questions. Start asking better questions of those customers. Start asking better questions of your own people. I love asking employees, what takes you entirely too long to accomplish? Because that's typically an operational inefficiency, right? What frustrates the heck out of you? That's typically something bureaucratic, or we're forcing them to do something that is just not helpful to the business. If you were king or queen for a day, what's the one thing you would fix? And it's amazing what they will tell you, because they're on the edge of where the business adds value to its customers. They understand, well, you know what? You know how we have all these oils and all this stuff over here? Well, I got to go over there and pick it up and bring it back and do it. What if we put it over here, right? That is a no-brainer in operationally optimizing how that shop runs. Let them. If they have an idea, you want to put wind in their sail, you want to give them more ownership of what's happening, let them recommend, suggest ideas that remove friction. My last comment, look at your business and look for what I call the unwows. What is unimpressive? What causes friction? What causes people to eat like this, right? What are you doing to make people's lives difficult? Anything that is unimpressive, anything that pisses people off, anything that is just not necessary, find a way to get rid of it. Because it's adding friction. It's adding complexity. It's adding extra headaches that nobody needs. If you remove the unwows, you'll become a dramatically easier company or business to do business with.
Love it. And I cannot believe how quickly the time went. And I know you have to get to the airport and pick up things. And this was just amazing. And I hope everybody will take a moment and check out your website and look in the comments. And also, I always forget to mention, we're always looking for guests for the podcast. And if you have a story we want to hear from you, you can reach out to us at any time. All the contact information's in there. But we would love to have you. Good luck trying to follow David. But, you know, if you
hey, Avnir can help with that.
Yes.
And I am going to expect this outfit every time we visit each other.
St. Patrick's Day outfit. So there are more outfits, David.
Right. Cannot wait.
There's one or two for every day here while we're at Super Conference.
I love it.
This is probably one of the tamest.
Oh.
Would you say this
no
is...
party pants this year?
Oh, there's party pants.
There's party pants. All
there's
right,
party
coming.
pants.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
It's a whole thing.
Wow.
Listen, you got to get up on the right side of the bed in the morning, and you got to find joy where you can get
I
there.
saw the sign the other day that says, you know, your life would be dramatically, more boring without me in it. And you exemplify that to a T. So
As I always tell everybody, love me or hate me, you'll never be bored, right? You can,
Your
opinion will be what it is, but you'll never be bored interacting with me.
Understood.
The rest of it's on you. I can't, be responsible, but there's always that. You got to bring the zhuzh, right? You got to.
But thank you for having me. Hopefully
thank
ideas
you so
were
much,
useful,
everybody.
and
so much.
Great to have the audience.
Yeah. So everybody stay safe and make good choices, and we will be back.